Hello, thanks for joining this video. Today I'm going to talk about how to make friends as an adult, and I'm going to share three simple things that I wish somebody told me when I was first starting out. In the beginning, I had a lot of trouble making friends, and social anxiety was a thing. But when I learned these skills and these tips, it became super easy. So if you're in that position, then this is for you. Enjoy. Here we go. How to make friends as an adult and keep them, because that's quite important. So today we're going to cover a few things. First is going to be where to meet new people. When you're making friends, especially as an adult, it can be a bit difficult to find the places to meet those people. And oftentimes, the place we socialize the most is work, unfortunately. And if you happen to be in a position where your work isn't quite satisfying and you don't like the people that work there, it's just different values, different mindsets, then you may need another place to socialize. So here's what we're looking at. We're talking classes, hobby groups, volunteering events, and local community groups. This can be things like cooking, pottery, fitness, drawing, language classes, running clubs, book clubs, knitting clubs, going to different events like festivals or others, volunteering for charities, doing community work, helping out, and also going to game nights or hiking clubs. Now, all of these will offer you an idea of what you can do. These are not the only things that you can go about, but in this way, you get to understand that when you find what you like, let's say you're really into knitting for some reason, then you find a local knitting club. And when you go there, it's likely that you're going to meet people that have similar values, definitely similar interests, and then you can get chatting. And based on the fact that you have similar values, you can then bond over that. And it makes for great friendships. So these are some options that you can go about. For example, if you're into fitness, you may be exercising at home, where it's of course hard to meet people, or you may go to the gym, which is also not as easy to meet people in if you're just working out. But if you went to a fitness class, then people are getting together to work out together. The whole experience is creating a community feel, and that community feel can allow you to connect with people and start conversations. So find those things that you really like and see if there's any classes, hobby groups, or anything at all that resembles a community where you can go and meet other people with similar interests. So that's where to meet people. Now, next up is how to talk to people. Now, you're going to go to these places, but if you don't have good social skills, and it's important to say it's a skill, it's not a talent, it's not something you just have, it's a skill that you build. Now, some people may seem like they have it naturally when they've never read books, they've never studied the skill, and that's because they likely had good communicators around them when they were growing up. So, the same way like you learn a language, you can learn communication. But if you are one of those people like myself that grew up either without many people around or without good communicators around, you may struggle. And so it's a skill you need to learn. And good news is it's not that hard. And here's some rules to go about. So the first one is the 80-20 rule. So making the conversation about the other person. What this means is that you, first of all, be a great listener. That's step two. Do more listening than talking, at least twice as much. This way, when you pay attention to the other person, they feel heard, they feel like you're engaged, they feel like you like them. And these are huge things when it comes to conversation. And then occasionally you're going to jump in and you're going to ask some open ended questions. Open ended questions means that it requires a reflection and it requires a more detailed answer. An open ended question may sound like, how come you got into this? Or why did you start doing this in the first place? Whereas closed ended questions are, do you like being here? Or do you like this event? That way, people can give you a yes or no answer and really doesn't give you a lot to work with and does not lead to deeper connection. So, the structure is simple. You make the conversation about them, you ask great open ended questions, and you listen a lot. That way, when the other person feels like you're paying a lot more attention to them than you are to yourself, they feel heard, they feel seen, they feel liked. And these are core human needs that we really enjoy having fulfilled. Then the next bit is to use the body language to make them feel great. And these can be very simple things like when they say something that you agree with, you nod. Do a triple nod relatively slow and don't overuse it, because if you sit there and you're nodding all the time, it's a bit of a problem. And then you can use other things like sounds like aha, mm-hmm, wow, really? And these all have their place. You need to be tactical with them. So start slow, practice a little bit here and there, and eventually you'll find these openings, these gaps where you can put a well timed wow and it really hits. So, for example, someone tells you a story and they say, oh, this one time I climbed this mountain and in the distance there was a lightning storm. And you're like, really? And this then prompts them to share more about the story. Really is one of those cues that signals minor disbelief, but you still trust what they're saying. And then that leaves them an opening to expand more on the story. And so people start talking, they remember the emotion, so that brings them in this positive state that they enjoy feeling. And then they associate that with you. So you made them feel that way, therefore, you must be nice to be around. Really, communication is a lot about the feelings that other people experience as a result of interacting with you, because that's what they remember. They won't really remember the questions you asked them or what you guys talked about. They will remember how you made them feel for the most part. And that's where you really have to focus. And to support that, you could do a few other things. These will be things such as mirroring, where if somebody shares something, then you can paraphrase what they've just said to make sure that you're signaling to them that you're hearing what they're saying. So this can be something like, oh, I love cooking. I made a beautiful curry last night and me and my partner enjoyed it. Oh, really? You love cooking? It's so nice that you made a curry. Can you tell me a recipe about that? I've actually really wanted to make a curry myself, but never figured it out. So this way, you're signaling to them that you're listening, that you heard what they said, and you're also asking about details so that they can share more about their passions. Just make sure to not make it robotic. If you're just repeating everything they're saying, it does become a little bit weird. So use mirroring tactically again, paraphrase slightly, and then you can put it back out to them. You can take certain words that they're using and use that in your paraphrasing. It's really effective. Then another thing you can do is called fronting. So with fronting, you are essentially facing their body towards them. This means that your feet face towards them, your torso face towards them, your face face towards them. And with fronting, you are signaling that you are paying attention to them, that you are locked in and you are focused on them. This is a very clear signal of attention that I am fully engaged with you. Now, bear in mind that for some people, especially people that are more shy or introverted, this can feel like too much to begin with. So, in those instances, pay attention to how the other person's feeling. If they start displaying signals of discomfort, such as crossed arms or folded body language, or they're stepping back, then give them a bit of space. Take a few steps back yourself, maybe turn away slightly, but still be in a warm presence and show them that you're paying attention. And then finally, we've got hand gestures. So hands are really valuable for creating a flow in a conversation and for also signaling things. So if you're talking about something small, you can do that. If you're talking about something big, you could do that. You can use hands for measurements. You could use them to describe a journey or really take the conversation and make it more tangible. So if you're saying we are bonding or connecting or detach from the outcome, you could do this and it helps make your communication feel more alive. So this is how to talk to people. I appreciate there's quite a lot to take in here, but really you won't need too much more than this, at least to start with. These are good foundations. So one, the 80-20 rule, make it about them. Number two, be a great listener. Do more listening than talking. Three, ask great open ended questions so that they can expand more, share about their passions and about themselves. And finally, use your body language in a creative and tactical way so that you can make sure the other person feels safe, seen, and heard. Now, the next bit is from chat to connection. So, what does this mean? Well, you've had this great conversation. Both of you have really enjoyed it. And now it's time for both of you to leave. Either one person needs to go, or both of you, it's time to go, or the event is over. In this case, sometimes it's okay to just let things go and you just enjoy the conversation. But other times, more often than not, you would like to stay in touch with that person. Now, how do you do that? So, in this case, there's a few things you need to pay attention to. First of all, timing is key. Look for the natural conclusion of the conversation. Now, what is this going to look like? The natural conclusion of the conversation normally looks like this. There's either a pause where there just seems to be no other topic to talk about, or you feel nervous that you have to say something. This nervousness of, I have to say something, may mean that the conversation has come to a natural end if it has been flowing well so far. That's completely fine. Learn to get comfortable with conversations ending, because they do all the time. And then once you get into that groove of feeling out when the conversation is over, when the other person is ready to leave, then you send out a low stakes invite. First, you thank them for the conversation. Say, hey, I really enjoyed this. Thank you for taking the time to chat. And it would be great to meet up again sometime. Would you like to go for coffee or grab some food or go to this event that's happening next week, etc.? So just put out an invite and see if they're interested. And then if they are, then you make a smooth exchange, which needs to be friendly and relaxed. Just be okay with receiving a no as well. It is going to happen. And just be relaxed about it and say, hey, would you like to exchange contacts so we can stay in touch and then we can plan going out again next week? And that way, you give the other person the space to consider whether they want to do it or not. And then it's also a continuation of the conversation online. And then a day or two later, just follow up with them. Send them a text or a voice note or just anything really, to a meme, a GIF, could be anything. And start building that connection. Just share something with them. You could say, if this was true, you could say things like, oh, actually, I was just thinking about you the other day, and I remembered this and this about our conversation. How are you doing? And that way you can reconnect with the person and you can plan the next activity. So there you have it. How to go from chat to connection. Just remember, timing is key. Respect the fact that the conversation is going to end. Send out a low stakes invite, which means that you share some gratitude and then you suggest meeting up again at another event, another place, etc., another day. Having a smooth exchange of contacts, just asking for Instagram or WhatsApp or just whatever you're comfortable with. And then building a friendship by following up and checking in with the person, sharing something funny to keep the connection moving. And that's it. Let me know if this was valuable in the comments below. If you'd like to hear about any other topic when it comes to communication skills and emotional intelligence, whether you struggle having difficult conversations at work or you struggle connecting with your partner, etc., just let me know what you're looking for and I'll do my best to make a video on it. For now, thank you so much for making it to the end if you have, and enjoy the rest of your day. I'll see you around.